Petri dish, the Petri dish, the Petri dish.
This is
The Petri dish, the Petri dish, the Petri dish. This is the Petri dish. There's something growing in here, and it's fuck. There's so many magnets everywhere. I don't think magnets can grow, but Alicia has hamburgers and French fries and shakes shaped.
How do those work?
We glued magnets, really powerful magnets, to very flimsy things.
Yeah.
So they keep getting stuck to each other and ripping the glue off.
Where'd you get the magnets?
I don't know. I think she just got them at a craft store, or she already had them. It seems like a thing she would already just have laying
Just
around,
in a pocket.
just like a fucking. She has like a mason jar full of magnets somewhere. I don't know. It's a kind of rock, right? That seems like a.
Yeah, magnets are wicked.
Yeah, more people should just have like raw magnets. Is that a thing?
Raw magnet?
Yeah, like a raw magnet.
Yeah, I think so. Uncured magnets?
Yeah, I think it's a thing. Either way, me and Austin are just post open mic over at the Emerson, and I figured we would just
Get something out before Tuesday comes out.
Yeah, figure something out real quick while we're still on that wind down from the open mic. And I know, I mean, you've done a little bit of comedy around.
I'd say that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, this
around
year.
Town. This year.
But I haven't been to a mic that wasn't mine since February. So it's been 6 months since I've done like non-hosting comedy, and boy, are my mouths not functioning. I guess it doesn't help.
Well, you had a pretty good set.
It definitely worked.
It comes back like no problem. Like once you transition from like hosting to like a more of a like you're just an act on the show. It's like there's no real like learning curve anymore. I mean,
yeah, it feels like there's less
like,
stakes.
Jump right into it.
Yeah, I felt like I was allowed to have more fun with it, which kind of helped because
also going on first, isn't anything like
Yeah, there was nothing to like ruin the night yet. It's like it kind of sets the mood. Cy kept it real short up top. He did like 2-3 jokes just to like set it up, and then he got me up there. Which was
I think it's because
good.
he doesn't have very many jokes.
Yeah, he was definitely kind of like just filling the time in some parts. It was good though.
He's got jokes.
He's got a lot of things he's been working on.
It's just when you host, you want to try and keep it fresh, but at the same time, like you're so unsure of like what the new stuff that you've written that you don't want to like try it out so much, I guess. So I can kind of see where he's coming from.
That's definitely the tough spot that I've been putting my mic in. Is like I don't go to anything else, so I have to try new stuff there.
Yeah.
And so it's like if it doesn't work, well then the whole night's a little bit fucked because then there's like no energy in the room, and I have to like try to reclaim it somehow.
A lot of that, I feel like you don't. But I mean, like, is most of that is like half that stuff even written though? Sometimes, like, I feel like some of that's just like coming off the cut, or is it stuff you've actually put some time and effort into, like, kind of developing into something?
It's like I'll hear the way I want to say it in my brain, and I will try to write as many of those words down in that moment as I can.
Gotcha.
In a way, but then when I try to read it later, I'm like, I know where I was, and I'll try to recreate that now.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, and so that was like I wrote some jokes before I closed my mic that last time back in like July, back in early July, late June.
Okay.
I had like written a set out, and it was like 12 minutes when I did it at Coffee and Comics.
Yeah.
And so tonight I was like, what is it? 5 minutes, Cy? He was like, yeah. I was like, oh shit. I have to like try to.
Yeah. Did you go over at all?
Oh yeah, I went like a full minute over at least, which is tough because like I didn't want to just start right in with the new stuff, but then that kind of left me in a weird spot. So I kind of had to fold the new stuff in to the opening jokes, which was strange. I had a couple new tags for some of my old jokes up top, but then I tried to fold it in to new material, and it worked, but it was the dismount on it that I just didn't quite get to for that set because I was like, I know I'm going over and I need to wrap up.
I don't think anybody really dismounted super well.
Yeah, it was kind of tough because I mean it's rough when the crowd is so hot right away. Like, they're just paying attention. But then when they start having fun with it, you're like, I've only got so much time. Fucking no one make noise.
Yeah, that's the problem, like, with some of the crowds, especially in Midtown, because I feel like a lot of the people, like, they know, like, they're funny, I guess, because, like, they have more friends than us. and so like they get that kind of like feedback a lot of the time. So like they have no like real like anxiety about like just being open with the comics on stage sometimes, and I feel like that happens sometimes there at the Emerson.
And it's because like they're with their friend group and they feel like they're a part of everything going on.
Yeah,
and so it's like they have that attitude with it, which is it can make for some good times. You know, like especially if you're trying to do some crowd work and like practice that, it can really help because they're not like out there to antagonize you and be dicks, but they're like, you know, vocally trying to be a part of the fun that they see going on, and so it's
but that could be also like an issue sometimes because like that they don't see it as like a show anymore. Like they'll see it as like, oh, it's just we're all hanging out together, and
so
like
then
one of you guys just has like this weird, you know, you're just amplified to a greater degree.
Yeah, and then they want to start telling their friends their story on the bit you're still in the middle of, and you're like, hey, fucking
or
calm
tagging,
down.
You know, tagging your crowd work or whatever.
Yeah, and it's tough. That definitely happened the most to Sarah, but I think that's just because she like sets out to have that happen so she can talk shit about them. It's when they're quiet, it's the worst. It's like when they're quiet about them talking within themselves, because then it's like, I can't hear what bullshit you're saying, and you're taking away part of my audience. You know, that's the tough part.
The first person to the stage, Bobby Miller. Hello, friends. I am getting fat again. Sorry. It's more noticeable on me because I'm a 6'8" Asian person, so everyone's always looking anyway. What's terrible is I stopped my gym membership right before COVID hit because it's not that I needed money or I wasn't going enough. Like I was going and I got complimented, but for someone else. Then I had they're like, oh, Jonathan, you're looking good. I'm like, that's not me. I don't like looking good for other fat people, but that's not my goal. My goal is to no longer be the fat people. And yet here I am. People are always so nice. They're like, oh, you're not fat. Fuck you, though. That's. I know what I am. You know why? I tried to put on a fat suit and I couldn't. If I can't pretend, then I am. So that's how that math works. People say things to me because I'm assuming they think I'm some sort of like cartoon character they have to confess things to or something. I don't know. One time, a guy was just riding by a bar on a skateboard I was standing in front of, and he's like, fuck! And that's it. I was like, you don't go by anyone else and do that unless they're really fucking bad. Like, they have a Phantom of the Opera mask on, one of their arms are missing. Currently, like, they're still bleeding. They're like, okay, that warrants an exclamation. But just me existing was enough for this guy. I was standing near a bathroom in a crowded bar, and a guy, instead of just being like, oh, excuse me, and getting past me, he moved all the way up, and then he made like a dance past me, like a sideways crab walk. It was like, I think it started a religion, and that's what happened. He went like the most basic thing. He's like, must have used a large God. I was like, all right, I'm glad I have that energy, I guess, like mad cold here energy. I'll take it. Go. It can manifest in bad ways, like a lady in Target a couple weeks ago told me to go back to my country. Cool times. My favorite part about that is they can never guess it. Ever. They're always wrong. And so I'm used to it at this point. Like, I lived in South Dakota for 6 years. I've been told a lot of things. And so she was like, go back to your country. And I'm like, ha 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 ha! Now you're on a game show. I will give you 3 guesses. You get 3 whole fucking guesses. I will go back to whatever country if you guess correct. I will pay my own fare. I'll buy everything in your goddamn car. If you can guess what Asian country it is, ooh, that's a hint. You can have a whole continent to pick from. First one, China. Oh, you're a new racist. That sucks. Right now, they need more practice. They're so bad. They're so bad. Like, old racists knew how to accurately, like, if I meet dudes that were in the Vietnam War, they know what I am. They're immediately like, wow, they hide in the tiny holes. Yes! Well, this lady, no, I'm like, all right, 1 down, 2 more to go. You get 2 more, let's try it. insult them properly. You guys know how that goes? I'm just sitting there like, oh my God, you probably still wipe back to front and wonder where the yeast infections come from. Like, all right, let's see where this goes. Number 3, what's your guess? Beginning on, oh, basically, watch the History Channel like twice. Good fucking job. And it's, sorry, any white women in here, it's always white women. It always is. One time I was having a go, a white lady in a bar who was very drunk and told me that straight white women are the most oppressed minority in the United States. Already a hilarious thing. And I was like, your definition of all of the things you put in that sentence is wrong. Because like, if you just look at statistics by the numbers, women and men right down the middle. We can just remove men completely from the equation. If we're just looking at all women in the U.S., white women are still like 60%. That's not a minority. If you were making a pie chart and your pie is bigger than half and everyone else is on the other side, you're not small. That's a mini-sized slice of pie. You cannot claim that is a small slice. There's no such thing as rebellion anymore. We have marketing. If I tell my phone, I call the FBI directly and say I want to kill the president, I'm going to get 5 Instagram ads on 511 tactical gear and probably 20% discount flights to DC. That's just how the algorithm works. Before any of the CIA or anyone could buy my information back from Iran, I have already gotten bored. Like, that's just how little rebellion exists. And that's just all we know. I just want you all to know. Rebellion's not a thing, so enjoy your lives, and that's been my time. Thank you very much.
I don't know. Like I set out to try to do some like certain jokes when I was thinking about doing tonight, and I got like 2 of the 5 in, and that's enough, really. You know, like just working on it, even just one joke in folding it into a set so you can get the pacing of it. But yeah, I front loaded it with things I knew would work, and then just kind of barreled through new stuff, and then I was like, oh fuck, I'm going over, and just kind of had to leave before I got to any like real closure. And I was like, ah fuck, I couldn't do. I think there's this whole thing about 3 Doors Down that I didn't go into, and I didn't go into like.
I was saying, like, why are we so afraid of the light in Reno? It's like we should just keep going. We should just go. Like, who cares if we go over? I mean, sure. Like nowadays, like it makes sense because we don't want to. You don't want to be up, well, because the reduced hours of a lot of businesses nowadays. But beforehand, like, why do we even give a shit about the light?
Well, it's mostly in respect to the host, Austin.
Right, but we know like them by like on a first name basis. Like we know them. We know like better than like just friends.
Yeah, but I mean, you should know if you don't want to sit there for 15 comics because they're all your friends.
Yeah, no.
Next thing you know, it's 1 a.m. You're like, wow, no one's funny anymore.
But like by just give them like a minute and a half like leeway.
I mean like. It's never, like, if you go a minute or 2 over, the host is never going to be like, how fucking dare you? You know, like, I went a full minute over, maybe a little more, and Cy wasn't like, fuck you, you're never coming back.
Yeah, no,
God, these fucking animals.
What is happening? What are they doing?
I have no idea.
What are you doing?
This is what happens.
Okay, yeah, just sit. Just sit down.
Fucking dogs. Ugh. But yeah, I don't know.
That's like a real, like, I don't know, luxury of just being like small town, even like super small town comedy almost.
Yeah, I mean, really, the only people
for a city this size, it's pretty small.
The only people that give a shit about the light are like clubs because they're either trying to hold the headliner to doing their time, so they like, I'm not going to pay you if you didn't do 45 minutes at least, Or if you're fucking like Pioneer and you're like, we need 7 comedians up front, all doing 2.5 minutes.
But like the way that Pioneer structure shows like what they believe comedy shows are supposed to be structured like. Well, it's like the wrong way.
Yeah, it's designed to sell drinks. You know, like that makes sense for them to have a separate show at the beginning, then do an intermission to break the show in half, and then just do host headliner and call it good.
Yeah, it's been, and we've riffed on this multiple. I mean, you've specifically probably riffed on this many times before.
Oh yeah,
that's like the thing with like Laugh Factory. Like you can like if you know somebody who's hosting there, you can kind of show up, and then if the headliner is like cool or doesn't give enough of a shit, like he'll just let you go on.
I mean, yeah, especially if the headliner is like, "What? I'm doing a weekend in Reno." Yeah, do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, like,
you know,
he doesn't give a shit. You know, like the booker like, especially if like the booker who usually does it, who like, you know, puts up the shows, like if he's not there, then it's whatever. Like nobody really cares.
Then it's the host's stuff.
You're not like a burden on like the staff there. Like, oh, we just got to like time a 4-minute set.
Yeah.
You know,
plus now I think that Mancarelli's running that still. Like he's like the stage manager of that room.
I think so to some degree. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if you're not like,
no, he's cool.
Like
if you're cool.
Yeah, there's only like 3 to 5 comics he actually has a problem with.
I guess. I mean,
yeah, and so it's like, as long as you're not one of them, you're probably safe.
Or what, you know, I don't know, like whatever the beef is with the other comics he has.
Oh, it's just, I mean, everyone has talked shit about him existing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like,
whatever.
But yeah, so that's how the night. How'd you feel about your set? It definitely started getting rowdy around your set. Like that's when people were piling in. Yeah.
Yeah, it was all right. I'll have to like listen back to it though.
Oh yeah, we'll have to get the tapes analyzed. I got both our sets in the.
Well, I mean, I felt like
can.
The jokes that I know would work, but I didn't really do much in like new stuff though. That's the thing, because I really haven't been writing as much as I've wanted to. You know, that's the thing with like quarantine is like you think like you put more of yourself into like all these other like hobbies and activities that you want to like invest more of your time into, and then like you come into an opportunity where like here's your chance to like shine with what you've done so far in like the last 5 months, and it's like you really haven't like figured out a whole lot of like new bits, you know, within that time.
That'll happen. I've been trying to fucking force myself to write things because like I feel weird going to my own open mic and doing the same jokes.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're hosting
every week,
if you're hosting, there's a little bit more of like an incentive, I think, for you to like try something different. Because at the end of the day, like no one's gonna really care if you're hosting and doing something new.
And yeah, the host set matters it matters the most to set the tone, but like they don't care if you're going to tell the same jokes. They're probably not even going to pay attention to what jokes they are.
I mean, it extends to like everybody. Like no one should really give a shit like what people think here.
Yeah, especially if we're practicing out the shit that we're not even good at yet, you know? Like,
yeah, but we still end up kind of doing it just because we all have like that level of like anxiety and insecurity, so like we have to try and like we'll just throw out the good stuff that we know works, just so we can like feel like there's some level of accomplishment,
get that dopamine hit.
Yeah,
I don't know. I've been trying to force myself to write more, but because I can give myself unlimited time, the shit it's so many words. Like I've lost again my ability to like keep it concise. And so like that's what I was trying to do tonight. So beforehand I was like, okay, what can I cut out? What can I pare down? And I think I got it in a decent spot, at least one of the newer jokes. Like I think I've got it in a better spot that I can fold it into places because yeah, you know, I think I'm at the point now where like even as a host, I've got 5 to 6 different like sets I can just cycle in between, so by the time I get done cycling through them, people will forget what the first one was and I can just keep doing that indefinitely. But like I don't know, it's so easy to lose spirit on especially jokes that are like 3 or 4 years old now.
Yeah, which is why I would like to try and get some of that stuff that I haven't gotten recorded or at least like put up online somewhere, just so I can like stop giving a shit about it, because like I'm not like, even now, like I'm not like tagging anything onto it at this point. Really, like we're like at 4 years in or 5 years in or whatever, like there should be more of just like us coming through in like our writing,
right? That
we shouldn't have to like fall back on bits from like a couple of years ago,
or like little quippy one-liners, you know. It's like
or I mean if it could be one-liners if that's what you feel more comfortable with, if that's if you're discovering like that's what your kind of lane is, then sure, just have it more one-liner stuff, you know.
Definitely. That's definitely
what
not
works
my
for
writing
you.
style. Like, I can't. I mean, I feel like if I could write them, I could deliver them fine.
Oh yeah.
But that's just the late night host in me wanting to be like, yeah, if I have a team of writers write me whatever's current, I'll deliver it for 10 minutes. You know, other than that, I'm not gonna fucking write it. But yeah, I guess I don't know. I'm gonna edit some of this stuff together. In this, we will have already heard my set, and now we can listen to yours.
Yeah, it was.
Good friend of mine, super creative. Please give a warm hand for Austin Baca.
All right, yeah, how about me? All right, yeah. Hey everybody, how you doing? My name is, I'm the headless one. How you guys doing? You guys doing okay? You guys all right? You good? All right. Man, this COVID thing seems like a big deal, right? I don't know about you guys. I mean, I liked it when it was nothing to worry about. Remember that? Remember those days? Remember January? That was great. Good time. You just like seeing it. It wasn't even like on the news. It was just like a sub-headline on the yacht. You had to like scroll down to see the news headline for it. Remember that? Like this new virus that infects bats. Remember that? Now it's like every day, it's like worse and worse. It's like it's sexually transmitted by tigers and it'll make your heart explode. It's crazy, right? I mean, but we're all safe, right? We don't fuck any tigers. I know. I'm pretty self-conscious about the way I look all the time. Like I know what I'm presenting to you right now. Like I look like a dollar store Anton Sugar a little bit. This is like if the mercenary thing didn't take off, you have to like work as like a ship's office. You know, they like go and like shop for people's groceries in his car. But I'm pretty self-conscious about my body hair. Like I feel like I have too much. Like it's gotten to the point where it's like dipped into paranoia a little bit. Like I got a letter in the mail, and it was a 50% off coupon for the European Wax Center. And all I said to myself was, "They know." It took them 15 years, and the journey's finally after these cubes. It's a crazy thing, puberty. Puberty happened to me, and like I didn't expect it. Like I had a whole plan set out for myself when I turned 13. Puberty was like, well, look, we know what the testosterone levels are going to be, so we can't do the chest hair first. But how about this? Here's a compromise: a welcome mat for your butt crack. How about that? We'll just put down a little fuzzy tramp stamp for you. And it'll really compliment that mohawk we just put in your pants. I think that would really go. Yeah, it's a whole other humidity down there. It's like a different planet, though. I don't want to talk about it too much. I don't want to get into too much detail. Just have to, it'll bore me. I don't want to talk too much about that. What I really want to talk about is politics. I have you guys know that I'm a pretty progressive person, but I feel like my political ideas can sometimes conflict with the things that I love. Like those two things don't really mesh together. Like I love blue. Like I'm a Democrat, but I also unironically love the band Limp Bizkit. And I feel like those two things shouldn't meet. Like I shouldn't be for, women's right to choose an abortion, but also know the words to them. It seems like I'm betraying the movement. I'll tell you this much though. I started comedy 4 years ago, which is the same time Donald Trump started presidenting. And between the two of us, he's more committed to doing the thing he's bad at. Like he's full on dictator mode. Like I don't think I can come and show my face next week. That's drink bleach, and my mom won't ask questions when I ask her for money anymore. Like, that's what I had about. It's a weird thing. I have mild depression. I don't know if you guys know what that means, but it means that I have potential. But that means they took away my license, so I like Crocs. They were like, you're suicidal, but you got money. I would never commit suicide. I feel like that's too extreme for me. And also, I'm really bad at self-promotion, so I feel like my suicide would just come off as a homicide. So. It wouldn't work out too well. Well, I've never been so sad that I've felt that I need to end my life. I have been sad enough where I felt like I could apply for a job at Long John Silver's. Got some Long John Silver's people working. I feel like that's just on the same foot. That's on the same. If you can break down the spectrum of depression, you got suicide, Reno comedian, Long John Silver's.
Aside from the first joke, everything was not something that's out already, I think.
Yeah. I think.
What did I tell? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, it was the first minute maybe that was the same stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, I did the same thing. I was like, I got to open up with 2 or 3 things that I know will work and will be quick, can introduce me to these people in a slightly vulnerable way, and then we can start talking shit.
Yeah.
I'm going to edit them down a little bit just to I don't know, cut certain jokes that I still want to work on and I don't want out in the world completely.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
I mean, you recorded the entire night, so you're going to put that up on...
I don't know if I'm going to put up everyone's thing. I'm going to send the individual people their stuff just so I can be hey, here's your set for whatever it's worth if you want it. I'll make it sound pretty if I can. I honestly have no idea how that thing sounds. I haven't recorded a thing and then put it in and listened with headphones. Through that, it sounds like shit, but it's a tiny speaker in the back of it. So I'm like, well, of course it sounds like shit, but it's got 2 nice mics on the top.
Yeah, it probably sounds all right.
It probably sounds pretty decent. I hope.
Good enough.
Let's see.
What else is going on?
Yeah, what else has been going on?
New with you? I've been in training for work.
Yeah.
Virtual training.
How's that been going, even though the internet decided to fucking shit the bed for 3 hours?
Yeah, it's been all right. I mean, last week was just mainly just breaking down and kind of running through the broad strokes of what we're doing, and then today was kind of the same thing but with a different person talking to us. So losing the internet wasn't too big of a deal, but I know that's because there's so many people in here who need the internet to do work now. It's I expect a lot of these kind of issues going forward.
It's gonna be tough because fuck, the whole grid went down. They sent out that truck. I told them to call me when it comes back up, and they just never called me. When I showed back up at 1:30, it was going again.
No, I mean, I should have mentioned it came back on 10 minutes before 10 o'clock.
That makes sense. Yeah, they told me that the outage would be until 10 o'clock over the phone, but it was an automated thing. Either way, I don't trust Spectrum.
No, I got back on and totally fucked up the Teams meeting that we were all in when I logged back in.
Yeah, fuck, man. I don't know.
I was so out of it too. I was just so tired because the work it required is from 6 to 2:30 p.m., which is pretty early. And last night I went to bed at 8, and for some reason I don't know how my clock has been lined up internally, but I woke up at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I was just well, I'm not going back to sleep now. I might as well just stay up. Yeah.
I mean, fuck. If I get more than 7 hours of sleep, I feel lazy the whole day. It just ruins the rest of my day, and I'm just tired.
Yeah, it almost feels wrong now. When the older you get, the more sleep you get, it feels like you're it's wrong. You're doing something incorrectly. Mm-hmm. I'm not 30 yet.
Yeah.
I only need 7 hours. I should be living my life. And now that I'm up, now I'm just gonna be up for the rest of the day. just to like try and like achieve whatever the fuck it is I need to achieve.
There's something still in my brain that thinks like, ooh, it's 9 p.m. time to go to bed, and I'm like, I have 4 more hours left before I need to go to bed. You know, like if I sleep from midnight to 7, I'm fucking fine.
Before it matters.
Yeah, so I've been trying to keep on my schedule, although it's tough because then Alicia will get home at like 3 a.m. and then she'll be like, let me tell you about my day. I'm like, motherfucker, I'm in the middle of my sleep.
No, I was up this morning, like she was just like just hanging out in the living room.
Yeah.
Just because like that's her schedule for, you know, the night shift that she's on
and they just keep putting her on nights. Like, you're not supposed to work more than 3 in a row, but then they're like, everyone's dead, so get back out there. Like, she wasn't supposed to do that today, and they sent her off anyway.
Jesus.
Into the night. Well, that happens. I don't want to.
It sucks having responsibility, you know?
Right? That's luckily she's one of those important people. I don't have to deal with that. Well, except when they were like, go into the office. I went into the office for the first time last week, and the door that I go through, it's like a big staging area for like test equipment. So there's always like engineering technicians and stuff out there tinkering with shit. So I walk in with like my laptop stuff all in a box, coming in very obviously like back after a few months, and they all stopped and they were like, hey, and started clapping. Like, I knew like 1 or 2 of them tangentially, but they were just celebrating that another person is coming back.
Weird.
And I was like, all right, that's a mood. It made me want to stay long. Like, I was like, good job. Like, did HR hire you to do this? Like,
celebrating for.
I was like, all right. I mean,
it's like, we're not through this.
It's like, yeah, I still could die anytime. You don't fucking know.
Like, we don't even know when. Like, we're not even in the second wave of whatever the fuck this is.
Yeah, and so like that was such a strange thing to then go up and like everyone in the floor that I'm in is gone, so it is kind of nice to just have no one around, and I can go there and it's air conditioned and the internet works.
Was it a very like cubicle heavy office?
Yeah, a lot of cubes everywhere, and so there's like there was like 8 cubes up in the second floor that they have like just off the warehouse where I'm at. So when I'm up there by myself, it's beautiful. I can just blast music and fucking be a degenerate.
Cool.
And then drink all the coffee in the world.
Man, I wish I had that working at Lowe's.
Right? You just
for the few months I was there.
Just gotta find yourself one of them cushy office jobs that has like technician or admin in the name. So
well, I think what I have now is like I think that's kind of what it was before they moved to remote. You know, completely remote because they closed on the office here. Like I walked into the office to pick up the equipment for it, and like it was definitely like one of those. Very gray, very dull. They had like all the cubes set up, but it was just like completely empty. They just had like 3 people there just kind of passing out, your hardware that you need to do the job from home. I always, like people shit on office work, but like if you already feel like your life is meaningless, getting paid to put some shit in an Excel isn't the worst, like I would rather not die and then just have to be tedious for a few hours than deal with humans in the wild. It's kind of easier to like get away with it too, like kind of be half-assed in it.
Like especially with this, like in the middle of the day I can be like, I'm gonna take a long lunch and like cook an omelet real nice, or like start some fucking pizza dough, or like start a day project outside. I could not do that if I was like working in a casino or some shit. It's fucking rough.
It would be like on location now that I think about it. Which is like what the radio job kind of was. It was never like we weren't like doing job, like we weren't there like a full 8 hours in the building.
Yeah.
We were just like there going out for like 4 hours at a time, just like wherever the fuck they had us. And then that was it. We'd come back and that would be the day for a lot of it. Yeah,
it's so weird to me that like radio stations still have like event booths out in the world.
Well, the station that I worked for, they were like the last few. We were like the only ones I think in town that really did that still, because we didn't like put any money into like real marketing, like on television or in any other kind of like media form. It was just specifically that like kind of event where we'd bring the talent out and we'd have like a whole booth set up for whatever the fuck. But nowadays, like I don't think we're doing anything really. Like I tried, like I don't even think I know anybody who still works there at this point, who's like still technically there as like a tech or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
I think we should just steal a few of their workers and ideas, and then just go set up a booth for the podcast out there.
That'd be fun, yeah.
And then just
podcast.
Get a little easy up and just talk some shit. Maybe do some stand up on the side, and just
use one of the ones that didn't get blown down during your birthday.
They're all gone. I got to buy more of them.
Seriously, because I thought the one that was like the one that was like the blinders one, the one that was like fully shaded and everything, that had like the zip up or whatever, was fine.
Nah, couldn't save
I
it.
thought you guys got it down in time.
I tried to save it, and all I could save was that shading that went along the outside. Everything else, like the leg got like the metal just sheared off inside of the thing.
Fuck.
Got totally fucked. Yeah, that was.
If you're lucky, maybe you can just buy the frame and just attach the. Now we don't need to pay for a whole new thing.
I wish.
I don't know how it works.
Fucking damn it, animals! Butter's just scratching the shit out of my leg to be a dick.
No, these animals are kind of obnoxious sometimes.
They're being fucking feisty.
No, maybe not obnoxious, but like needy, I guess.
They're definitely
they just need to be around people.
Goddamn animals!
They need attention.
They got babied too much by their mama, and fuck you, Butters! Scratch the shit out of my hand
again.
Yeah. Anyway, let's see. Well, what are some more things? I was thinking about this the other day, and I think we were even talking about it. Oh shit!
Fucking goddamn it, Cy! I don't know what the fuck happened here, but Cy is to blame.
Yeah, we can blame Cy. He used that mic last week and he fucked it all up. Weird uncle shit.
Weird uncle shit.
Yeah, like Because you were talking about your uncle playing your dad's favorite song.
Oh well, funeral. When my dad passed away, went to his home state of New Mexico, and his older brother, my uncle, had like the song in mind, like the song that reminded him of his brother, my dad, and it was that Garth Brooks song, "Rolling Thunder." Or Thunder Rolls?
Thunder Rolls, yeah,
Thunder
the one
Rolls.
About like an abusive husband.
Yeah, and I didn't know that's what the song was about. I thought it was like some stupid pop country song. Because I knew that wasn't what like my dad actually listened to.
Yeah,
he listened to like more like Santana and shit. And for a while he was like really into like 50s music, but I think it was only because he was fucking this chick.
And he was just like
and she was like 10 years older than him, so it was like he was like, all right, I'll listen to Smokey Robinson, I guess.
Before rock and roll was even invented, it was like, yeah, we'll listen to this. Fuck it.
A lot of like Motown stuff.
Yeah, fuck. I was thinking about
what kind of weird uncle shit are you thinking of?
Like I'm now realizing that I am going to be the weird uncle who does that shit. Like to my niece.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's like I know I'm going to be the weird uncle, but I haven't like had the chance to really like out myself as that weird uncle because I'm just in Reno all the time.
Yeah.
Like my nephew and my niece, they're like in California still, and I don't go out to like visit them like at all or often or ever.
Yeah,
basically. At this point, like I'm never really going to see them, I think. But like I owe them like a bunch of gifts. I feel like at some point like I'm just gonna like just order a bunch of shit off Amazon and just send it straight to them.
Do it
and just like in the to line on the card, I'm right, or from your weird uncle.
Just go to that like
your weird Reno uncle.
Get that like gifts for under $10 and just buy fucking all of them. Yeah. And just show up with a box, but like, here's all the shit I missed. Sorry.
Just whatever I could find at the 99-cent store.
Yeah.
That's like considered a toy.
Yeah, it's just like it's made of plastic and says 3 and up, so I'm gonna assume it's a toy.
Yeah. I did that one time for like one of my friends, like in 7th grade. Like we were doing like it was like a Christmas thing. So like just like buy a gift, one gift for like somebody, and like I got like 2 of my friends like gifts over $5, and the other guy got like $1, like a shitty pool table that you can play like. On the like
the tiny tabletop one.
Like
they even come with like
tabletop,
same size pool cues for it, so they're like chopsticks.
It was just like a fucking slab you can just throw down anywhere, and you can just throw the ball and just play like a really shitty game of pool with yourself.
Hell yeah,
because it had one stick.
I'm definitely like I'm the uncle now that knows he needs to censor himself because there's a 3-year-old around, but then doesn't, and then just thinks if I say fuck a little quieter, she won't hear it. And I'm like,
chances are she won't.
I just if she does, they could just be like, those are uncle words.
Yeah, she's still trying to figure out her fucking ears.
Yeah, so like, especially like I do things that are like they're not love to a small child, but it's how I show love. Like when she comes up to me and just starts saying words, and I just don't look at her, and I just grab her and hold her as close to the ceiling as I can. And then, like, she's having the time of her life. She's never been so high up in the air, but I'm also not addressing her at all.
It's probably the highest she'll ever get, too.
Yeah, I mean, unless she finds someone who's like 7 feet tall. But,
or she gets on an airplane or whatever.
Or she becomes 7 feet tall. God, she would be the weirdest looking giant.
I don't think, I mean, yeah. Has a woman ever been 7 feet tall?
Totally.
What's the tallest woman? Because your niece is a girl.
Yeah.
Ergo niece.
Yeah, she is not a boy niece.
Yeah. My male niece.
My male niece.
That was a popular toy in the 80s.
Just like little brother, kid sister, male niece.
My buddy. My male niece.
God damn it!
Now, what's the tallest girl? Or tallest female?
Yeah, let's see.
What's the Guinness Book of World Records?
Because I know
like 6'2".
I know the tallest guy was Robert Wadlow, and he was like 8'11" or some shit.
So no one's ever been in the double digits.
No one's ever gotten that. I think it's like topped off at 8 feet. Sandra Elaine Allen, who died in 2008, was the tallest woman at 7'7".
Lucky. Getting to die.
And then straight up dead. I think she had that giganticism. So, oh no, she actually lived a long time for a giant.
Lucky bitch. Did she get like some kind of like surgery to like kind of take out the
brain tumor?
No, the hormones that like were making her grow so fast.
That is, yeah. She underwent surgery. Yeah,
yeah. Because if you like let that go uninhibited, like you'll just die. Like 20.
You'll just keep on growing, and that's what happens to most of them.
Yeah. Because there's like a lot of like professional wrestlers who like got to like that tall and like they had to like get a surgery so they wouldn't die.
Because what was it? The tallest dude, Robert Wadlow, 8'11.1 inches. Yeah, and he died at like 30 or something.
What was his weight?
490 pounds. Yeah. He was a skinny motherfucker.
For that tall.
For 8'11", he was only like 100 pounds more than me or something. Yeah, like, he was 2 feet and 3 inches taller or whatever. He was fucking.
God, where does all that weight? That weight just has to come from the skeleton. Right?
Oh yeah. That's
just all skeleton weight.
Even if you just think about it, just one of his legs is like a 5 foot tall person.
Yeah.
So like one leg is already be like 100 pounds
on its own.
Yeah. Just of leg meat that you need to hold up that much body.
Like a human megazord.
And how big are his fucking organs? Like,
they can't be any bigger than ours, right?
They have to be bigger.
I don't feel I definitely don't feel like your stomach is bigger than mine. Well, I mean, that's a bad example. I feel like your bladder isn't any bigger than my bladder.
So much. I will go without peeing all day one of these days.
Is that right? It's like just like the bigger that you are as a person, the bigger your organs are.
I feel like your organs have to scale up a little bit. Like, there's no way that Shaq has the same size heart that we do, or something. You know, like. It's gotta scale up at some point, or else we would die so much worse.
Makes sense, I guess.
I don't fucking know. Let's blow through one of these other topics I wanted to talk about. The whitest way to pronounce things, because all I could think about was like back when my late grandmother, she would say Salza with a Z instead of salsa. Salza. I think she would say Salza, even though some people do say Salza, which is even whiter. Like, I don't know.
You don't think the way your grandma was pronouncing it was the whitest way ever?
I don't know, because at least she had the A correct.
Yeah, like she was going in with some kind of like. Yeah, she was trying to roll her tongue a little bit.
She fucked up on that mid part. You know, it's like she would say salsa.
Salsa.
Mozzarella was definitely in there.
That's not even like ethnic though.
Exactly. It's like she heard an Italian person say it, and she's like, I could smooth that out.
Yeah, that's weird. They can't even get like Italian words correct.
And I love that shit.
How can you be like a white person and not get like Italians were fascists at some point? It's like you're telling me you can't be whiter than that?
Put some respect on their name.
Yeah,
they've done genocide.
They earned the double L. Mozzarella.
Although I do like the idea of pronouncing other languages' words in a different language's dialect, like using the double L's and mozzarella to say mozzarella.
Mozzarella.
Just really fuck with it. That also, what bothers me about Italian is the disparity between Italian and New York Italian.
Yeah. Okay.
And that,
what do you mean? Well, like, what is that difference?
Well, like saying
aside from being, one that doesn't really know the language or the culture.
Oh, like New York Italians would say gabagool.
For capicola?
Yeah. And so, like, now I understand why French people look down on Quebec. Because, I'm assuming it's the same thing that Italian people have with New York Italians, where they're like, where half the letters aren't even right anymore. Why are you eating your spaghetti with red sauce?
But is that true, though? Like, do they actually, like, look down on New York Italians?
I don't,
I feel like they probably don't. Like, I feel like, for French people, it makes sense, because, like, they feel like
they're condescending.
They're just, like, naturally born as, like, I'm better than you. So, like, of course, they would look at, like, Canadian French people as, like, the gross version of French. Italians would be like, hey, American cousins.
Yeah, I feel like, if anything, there would just be, like, an old grandma, like, you're not saying that right.
Yeah, they probably treat, like, New York Italians as, like, a special needs child. You know what I mean? It's like, they look at them like, they're one of us, but, like, we got to treat them, like, a little different, Like, they're one of us.
And, that also...
They're not, like, any, like, condescending kind of way.
That makes me think about, like, I need more black friends, because now I want to know if there's a disparity between what used to be known as Ebonics, but, like, or modern African-American vernacular English. Like, because, I mean, like, most of the black people I end up around have to code switch for business purposes, so, like, I don't get to know the way, like, they would talk with their friends. And if that is different than the way their parents talk to their friends, and like, what are the... Because African-American vernacular English, or AAVE, can be, like, deconstructed grammatically. Like, there are rules in the internal structure of that, of the way that, is spoken. And so, that language has evolved. Are there... I'll say it the way I'm thinking about it, even though it sounds racist when I feel like I'm saying it. Are there old heads who are telling their kids, like, you're saying all of the words wrong? Or are they wrong because language evolves? I don't know. I don't know what's right.
I feel like it's okay to say that because you're drinking a Budweiser. So you can kind of get away with it. And also, you're Asian.
Yeah, if I have any black listeners anymore, sorry for all the things I've ever said, ever. It's all been in jest and for satire purposes. I love you. But also, like,
what gives with your words?
Yeah, like, I know that, like, white suburban kids steal black people's language and then their parents yell at them, but, like, are there black families who, like, a grandma is like, you're speaking wrong, but it's not like she's a linguist, she speaks a certain way, but now she wants her kids to speak that way? I don't know if that's a thing.
Yeah, I don't really... I'm in the same boat. I don't really know very many African-American people. I just knew, like, a lot of, like, Mexicans who would say the N-word. That's all I knew.
That's close.
That was my experience in high school. I don't know what your diversity was. I don't know what you're working with in high school. I don't know if you were, like, the most diverse thing there.
No, there was a fuckload of diversity because of military schools.
Were you were in Alaska at that point, right?
Yeah,
in high school?
Then before that was Hawaii, and that was a whole mess of brown kids. Like, being white was strange.
Well, no, Alaska was Alaska. Alaska was never Hawaii.
That's true. Alaska has always been Alaska.
Alaska's always been I don't think at any point Hawaii ever turned into Alaska. God. It'd be cool to go back down there again. Hawaii. Or Alaska. Go back down to Alaska. That would be fun.
Go back down to Alaska. See what's going on.
Alaska was fun. It was like daytime by 11 a.m. Or no. 11 p.m. I'm sorry. It was spring, and my eyes itch.
Yeah. Fuck. Let's see. Might as well wrap this one up. We gave them a 2-hour one last week. They're going to have a slightly shorter one this week. Are you digging anything this week? Anything new coming up in your brain?
What am I digging right now? Nothing in particular. I guess like like G4 like announced like its relaunch.
Yeah.
I don't think they're relaunching as a television channel.
It's probably
per
just gonna
se.
end up like a brand.
It's probably gonna be like a
affiliate.
brand or a web channel, honestly, with like a lot of like the original names attached to it. But I've like been going back and just like watching like a lot of like retro compilations of it just to like go to sleep to.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that's something I'm technically into per se.
I've done that too. I'm like, I'm just gonna watch through old X Play.
Yeah.
You know, like I miss Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
Yeah, it was funny. Like my older brother never liked Adam Sessler because like I think he was like, I think he
Just annoyed by that nerd.
Yeah, probably. I think my older brother like just like wanted to be a bully towards somebody.
Adam Sessler had such good like journalistic integrity when it came to video games.
Yeah, but he was like Jewish, I guess. That's why like my older brother hated him.
That makes sense.
I don't know why.
Fuck. I wouldn't be surprised if like Rooster Teeth is involved in like getting G4 back off the ground.
I feel like I think Olivia Munn kind of like behind it a little bit because she like was dating somebody who's like a big like network executive head's son or cousin or some shit.
Could be.
I feel like that's probably why. I mean, like
that's
relaunching.
That's how I knew of Olivia Munn in the first place. Anyway, was when she took over on Attack of the Show.
And even though, it was, she got like replaced like at some point by some other girl.
Yeah, it only took like a year or two before it was just like cutting all that out. Wild. Fuck, I miss G4. Guys, go on YouTube and just look up the history of G4. Get hyped about it coming back with us. There was some prime nerd shit between like 2000 and 2000. I'm gonna say like 2002 to 2008. There was like a presidency and a half of solid G4 stuff.
Yeah, I would say a good Bush term of good like video game content on television.
Yeah, because I mean, you could watch Arena.
It was the only content on television.
That's it.
Arena,
Cheat, Cinematech, and then Cinematech Nocturnal Emissions.
Yeah,
when they were trying
out the
to
whole like after hours kind of like Adult Swim kind of deal where they would have like. It's just for adults. Like they would show like Cinematech, but it was like cutscenes of like M-rated games or like adult-orientated games.
It's mostly just like dating sims and shit.
It was like where I was introduced to, like Happy Tree Friends and shit.
Yeah.
And Kaiju Big Battle, which is like a wrestling thing.
I don't remember that one.
You don't remember that? It's like a wrestling thing, but like everyone dresses up as like, like giant monsters, and like they wrestle in a ring with like tiny buildings like made of cardboard and everything.
That's fucking dope.
Yeah, you should check it out. Like they're still going strong as like an independent promotion. Like no one who's ever like who's like a name in like wrestling came out of that, but it's still like a thing you can like check out.
They have like a solid loyalty with their people.
Yeah, it's like a Boston or like an East Coast promotion or whatever. But like it's just guys like in costumes, just like doing flips on one another.
Hell yeah! I mean, I watch Night Fighting sometimes, so like I get it. There's weird shit out there.
It was really stupid, like when G4 brought out like the car shit.
I hated when they made like when they made the Spike TV switch and they started showing like Campus PD and
it was a lot of that for a while too. And it was like turned me off. I was like a year and a half into like watching the channel. I was like, shit, they lost me now.
For a good 2 years, they were on that down slope where they started getting rid of, like, they got rid of Cinematech and Arena and Cheat and all that stuff. And then it was just like, okay, now it's just X-Play and Attack of the Show. And then X-Play started going away, and then it was just Attack of the Show. Then Kevin Pereira left, and then it became
like, just like, here's the Cops rerun channel.
Yeah.
All cops and cheaters.
But because of G4, I got introduced to Jonathan Colton, one of my favorite musicians now. Cool, because he did the theme song to Code Monkeys. And that show kind of sucked.
I didn't like the show.
That theme song was dank.
Like, at all. I don't know why.
Yeah. It was fucking stupid. It was bad. It was not
weird.
Well written.
Well, I mean, it's where like you see people like like they think of like Code Monkeys as like that's the nostalgia they're pulled into from like G4, and it's like
yeah, because that was on that downslope where they were making bad choices.
Yeah, it was gross. It was dumb. Man, I think it was because like I just wasn't into like it was like very much like of the style like Family Guy humor.
Yeah,
and like I was kind of like coming out of that style. Like I wasn't as amused by what Family Guy was putting
by
out.
Like 2006 I was like, well, that's tired already.
Yeah, it's just the same a lot of the time, and it's kind of hard to like not hard, but it's just like boring at this point. Like I'm not really laughing at this.
Let's see. What do I? Oh, you know what? I've been watching all the Star Trek things. Oh, hey there, Nick.
Yeah.
I've been watching
Trek.
I've been watching all the Star Trek things. You know, I encourage.
I gotta finish up Picard, I guess.
I just encourage everyone to go get a subscription to CBS All Access. Not because CBS needs more money, but just because Star Trek needs more money. And also go watch Game On, because you know it's got a great cast behind it, and Game On is solid, and it's got Keegan-Michael Key as the host, but then it's also got Ian Carmel, and he is amazing.
Is Picard any good? Like the full, like as a whole, was it worth watching?
It was definitely worth watching. Like after watching all of it, I want to rewatch it because I wasn't giving it enough of a chance for like the first 3 or 4 episodes. Mm-hmm. I just like blow through it and then I was done. Yeah. But like I rewatched the last 2 or 3 episodes because I was like I missed some stuff and I want to start again.
Now, someone who's like relatively new to Star Trek, like I've only really watched like a handful of Voyager and a grip of Enterprise episodes. Yeah. I don't really understand like how 7 of 9 is like how she knows Picard, really.
Yeah, they don't really get into that much.
Aren't those, because like those are 2 separate series, right? Like 7 and 9's in Voyager, but like a later season when they needed like that person who like nerds can masturbate to, right?
Pretty much.
And then like Enterprise is like a totally different thing, like from like a decade before Voyager, right?
Enterprise was the later series. You're thinking of the Next Generation.
Oh, I mean, I'm sorry, Next Generation.
But yeah, Next Generation, like you have to get through a good amount of the Next Generation and probably some of the movies before.
But is that how like Picard knows? I'm not.
Yeah, like, no, like they never met in any of the series ever before. So like you really can just only chalk it up to like he was the most famous Starfleet person and she was also a Borg like Picard was. Yeah. Maybe so it's like tangentially.
Right. No, yeah, because like Borg are like all like they're they're like a collective, right? So like, of course they would know one from another. Yeah, so like
in the canon of Star Trek, you can assume that 7 of 9 was part of the collective when Picard became Locutus, so they're aware of each other in that way. But yeah, they've had no like actual interaction until Picard.
Like I haven't watched enough of Enterprise to like get to that point, like where he's assimilated at any point. Oh, spoilers! He's assimilated.
Yeah,
but like I don't know that.
You'll get through it. You just gotta watch. You know, you really.
I gotta watch another like a couple of seasons of fucking Deanna of Troy having an arranged marriage. I guess.
Yeah, TNG.
How many more
Deep
episodes?
Space
How
Nine.
many more episodes of Riker getting god powers?
Oh man! Luckily, there's only that one, and really, like especially for new people, watching season 1 and most of season 2 of that show is fucking rough. But in season 2, I think is when a lot of the stuff referenced in Picard actually happens. Like Dr. Maddox tries to let everyone in Starfleet take away the sentience card away from Data and be like, he shouldn't be serving in Starfleet. He's Starfleet property. He's not a human. So let me take him apart and figure out how he works. And everyone's like, no, he's a being. Like he exists. And so they have to do like this whole court procedural on Picard defending Data's right to be alive,
like on the starship.
Yeah, like on the ship, like an admiral comes, they do a whole like lawyer thing, and then Riker has to be the opposition working with Maddox because of like the emergency situation. First mate has to play defense or prosecutor. Yeah, and so Riker, who loves Data and all of his crew, is having to try to prove that Data is not a being worthy of staying alive. It's an amazing episode, and that kind of lays the foundation for the Picard series pretty well. But yeah, like you don't watch Picard without getting through a good amount of TNG, or else it'll be not satisfying. Yeah, it's still a great story, though, independent of it, but it's just there's so much fan service.
I also feel like Picard's going to be a lot easier to watch just because it is more of a modern day like drama that's catered to like streaming services. Like, they'll just put out like 8 or 10 episodes. Beforehand, like you would just get like 26 episodes on UPN or something, and that would be the entire Enterprise or the Next Generation series. And so you just like have that on as like background noise for a lot of the time.
I really like the newest series they've been doing aside from Picard, Discovery. Star Trek Discovery is great on its own without any knowledge of other Star Treks, and it's supposed to be set in the past, so you kind of get some of the history. And my favorite part of that in season 2, season 1's a little rough to get through, but once you get to season 2, Tig Notaro is like an engineer somewhere, and she has like a recurring thing to come back with. So yeah, get through as much of Star Trek Discovery as you can, if only just to get the satisfying Tig Notaro stuff. It's fucking dope. I suggest all Star Trek. Subscribe to CBS All Access.
All Star Trek. All Star Trek all the time.
All the time. Well,
and it's streaming exclusively through CBS. Like, can you actually watch like all the Star Trek series? Do the,
on all of it's all on CBS. You can watch fucking everything.
So you got options. You can watch it on Netflix if you want, which is what I was doing with like Enterprise and Voyager. I got bored with Voyager, I think. Voyager. That's also like a 7-season. What's the longest like airing Star Trek series?
I don't
It's not the first one for sure.
No,
that was like 2 seasons.
The first one only got 3 seasons. The Next Generation got 7 seasons. Deep Space Nine got 6, and Voyager got 7, I think. So it's
what about
pretty
the one
much
with Scott Bakula.
Yeah, Enterprise only got like 5 seasons, I think, and it didn't deserve
and that was the worst one, I hear.
It is,
and it still got more than the first series, the most beloved one.
Yeah, Enterprise is only good if you love Star Trek from all the other shit, and then it's fun to watch as kind of like this is what they thought would pass as Star Trek in 2005.
Yeah.
But like looking back on it, it was a well-written series independent of being Star Trek, but it's so on the Star Trek, and that was by design. But yeah, it's bad. All right, that's enough Star Trek and enough podcasting. I'm going to cut some audio together.
Yeah,
Let's see what the fuck these animals are angry about.